Business problem C. Say the yield of crop is not improving year on year, some agriculture related problem. For this problem, your business objective would be maximize the yield, amount of yield that we have, right? And while you try to maximize the yield, your businesses will also put constraints on you. And that constraint is minimize the cost. Because in order to maximize the yield, you might say, okay, let me fly drones on top of the crop and let me identify or capture data such as intra-plant distance. If you have plant here, how far is each plant from the other plants? Intra-plant distance, right? And various things is what you can capture basically. If you have contour sensors up to an inch, you can determine the leveling of the soil. Your soil won't be even like this, right? In agriculture fields, it'll be uneven. So where should you sprinkle the water more? Where water clogging happens? So all this analysis can be done. And also, if you have multispectral cameras attached to drones, right? Multispectral cameras would mean, right? This is assumed drone. I ignored my drawing. So multispectral cameras would mean cameras which will capture not just the visible spectrum, but which also will capture invisible spectrum, the ultraviolet and infrared regions, right? Which we cannot see as humans. So what happens is if you have all these plants, right, then when you fly your drone, and if you have weeds, insects, it is going to reflect a different color on the image. You'll get a heat map. It will reflect a different color altogether. Okay, it might be reflecting a red patch saying that, hey, weeds have started here. Weeds normally do not start throughout the crop overnight. In some portion it starts. So if you monitor using your heat map images, you can do image processing. And nowadays people are also having sprinklers, pesticide sprinklers. So those sprinklers will automatically sprinkle. The moment it identifies or detects a weed real time, it will sprinkle the pesticide, right? And it is very important, you know what, if you sprinkle more pesticide than what is needed, then what happens is usually after one crop for 6 months, you probably want to start another crop. Say one crop is for 6 months. In the next 6 months, the residual deposits of pesticide or chemicals would impact the yield. So all these are very important when you are working in the space of agriculture. Agriculture analytics is, wow, very, very important, right? So you might want to maximize the yield. But when you go to a farmer and say, hey, purchase a drone, fly it on top of your crop, it will capture all the statistics, and then you can sprinkle the, pesticide. They would obviously say, oh, come on, I cannot invest on this. It's a lot of investment, capital investment. So your solution, whatever you're trying to propose, should be low in cost, right? So while you maximize the yield, also try to minimize the cost of the solution, maybe that you're trying to implement. So defining business problem, business objectives and constraints is extremely important, and it would test you. It would certainly test you. And people say that the first 3 steps, understanding the business problem, collecting the data, and data cleansing, would consume 60 to 80% of your time. 60 to 80% of your time, you'd just be performing the first 3 steps, and building your models would be 20% to 30%, and some more time you spend on deploying. So building your prediction models is the most trivial part of your entire analysis.